everyone, welcome back to the channel. We've arrived at Portofino, Italy, and from here we're taking a water shuttle into Venice. It should take about 20 to 30 minutes to get there. Venice really needs no introduction. It's a beautiful city spread across more than 100 small islands with buildings resting on wooden supports beneath the water. And Venice and its lagoon are also known as UNESCO World Heritage Site. When I think of Venice, I think of the canals, the gondolas, the bridges, beautiful old buildings, and famous St. Mark's Square. We spent 3 days here, and each day felt completely different. Our first day was busy and crowded. Our second was much easier to get around, so we got to explore some of the quieter areas. Then on our third and final day, we came into Venice before sunrise and got to see a completely different side of the city. But first, before we explore Venice, I need to share the same information with my Khmer-speaking audience. So please hold on. សួស្តីបងប្អូន ខ្ញុំទំតែមកដល់កន្លែងកប៉ាល់ទឹកមួយគេហៅថា Portofino នៅក្នុងប្រទេសអ៊ីតាលី ពីនេះទៅខ្ញុំនឹងជិះកប៉ាល់ទឹកទូចមួយទៀតប្រហែលជា20ទៅ30នាទីទៅក្នុងទីក្រុង Venice ទីក្រុង Venice គឺទេសភាពស្អាតមែនទែនបងប្អូនមិនបាច់ឲ្យខ្ញុំរៀបរាប់ឲ្យទេពីព្រោះកន្លែងនេះគឺទីក្រុងនេះគឺគេធ្វើមកពីកោះទូចៗណាហើយអគារគឺចាស់បុរាណស្អាតមែនទែនហើយកន្លែងនេះគេហៅថា UNESCO World Heritage Site ខ្ញុំមកលេងនៅទីក្រុង Venice នេះ3ថ្ងៃថ្ងៃទី1គឺក្តៅហើយមនុស្សច្រើនថ្ងៃទី2ខ្ញុំមានឱកាសដើរលេងកន្លែង neighborhood ផ្សេងៗថ្ងៃទី3ខ្ញុំបានមកមុននឹងថ្ងៃរះគឺទេសភាពស្អាតណាស់ក៏ប៉ុន្តែជីវភាពស្ងប់ស្ងាត់ល្អសូមបងប្អូនតាមដាន So if you're ready, let's check out Venice together. So we are finally here at St. Mark's Square. It's hot, humid, and very crowded. But honestly, it's still amazing to finally be here. There's so much to see and do around the square, as you can see. You can visit St. Mark's Basilica, tour Doge's Palace, walk along the waterfront, or simply just find a place to sit, enjoy something to eat or drink, and people watch. With all the beautiful architecture and activity around us, there's always something interesting to see. Although the crowds can be very overwhelming, St. Mark's Square is one of those places you have to experience at least once. We have a couple more days here. Today is just trying to get the flavor of what's here in St. Mark's Square. Look at that clock. Isn't that gorgeous? What a vision. And it's all still part, look, this is still part of the St. Mark's Square. It looks like they're setting up for some sort of a performance, so it's kind of nice, but nevertheless, really appreciate this square. They said last week it was 7 degrees. Today's only 87 degrees, so pretty nice. And you have restaurants. European people like to live outdoor. So it's nice to just sit here, have a drink, or have something to eat, and people watch. Again, this is still part of that massive St. Mark's Square. Isn't that pretty? Look at the details. It's amazing. And that's the Basilica of St. Mark. So it's all part of this big square. Today is our second day in Venice, and we are strolling through a different part of Venice called Castello district. Here we came across a beautiful neighborhood square with a large statue of Bartolomeo Colleone on horseback. Bartolomeo Colon on horseback. He is a 15th century military commander. And overlooking the square, as you can see here, is a massive red Gothic basilica. And right next to it is a beautiful white Renaissance building that is now part of Venice's civil hospital. And this part of Venice is beautiful, but a lot quieter than St. Mark's Square. It also offers a different vibes. And also here you can really see how the locals live. You can see them doing their daily errands, such as grocery shopping using those small boats or gondolas, and also disposing of trash. City trash disposal seems very laborsome, very labor intensive, and there you see the medical boat. So I believe, particularly living on an island, there are advantages and disadvantages. One of the things, and I believe Venice is built or is comprised of over 100 small islands. So, in terms of everyday things like grocery would have to be transported in. But the neighborhood streets are very quaint, and if you love walking, you'll enjoy walking through them.
Just giving you another vantage point here in a different area of Venice. So we're trying to find our way back to the water shuttle to get back to our ship. So we just need to find a canal, a bridge, or something that will take us back. So this looks like it. So as you can see, a lot of tourists love to take pictures on the canal, near the canal, but there are thousands of these canals. Let's go this way, honey, so we can find our way. So living on the water is not all that glamorous because especially when you have to dispose of the garbage, it is very labor intensive. We're walking to St. Mark's Square early in the morning. This is our third day in Venice. So we figure we try Venice on our own because the other days just been crazy. It's been so many people.
The whole island of Venice is built on wooden posts within a lagoon along the Adriatic Sea. And the lagoon contains brackish water, which is a mix of salty seawater from the Adriatic and fresh water from rivers, streams, and runoff. As you can see, Venice before sunrise is so different, so serene and peaceful. And look at that beautiful Deutsches Palace. So Venice is 1600 years old, and the official founding date, I believe, is March 25th, 421. បងប្អូនទីក្រុង Venice ហ្នឹងគឺមានអាយុ1600ឆ្នាំហើយនៅក្នុងទឹកហើយទឹកហ្នឹងគឺមានជាតិគេហៅថាសាបហើយមានជាតិប្រៃពីព្រោះជាតិប្រៃហ្នឹងមកពីសមុទ្រណាហើយជាតិសាបហ្នឹងគឺមកពីទឹកភ្លៀងទឹកស្ទឹង Here we are in St. Mark's Square before sunrise. Amazing. Look at the different feel. There's no one here. It's such a big square. You can feel the volume of the square. And something's really neat. I was told there is such thing called a Redeemer celebration, which is one of Venice's most important traditional festivals. It basically commemorates the end of a devastating plague that struck Venice back in the 1500s. So in July, or every July, they would hold a celebration, and that includes fireworks over the lagoon, and and they have like decorated boats, outdoor celebration, and even a temporary floating bridge. So it's pretty amazing. And here we are, I'm just taking in the square before the people get here. It's just so different. The vibes just so serene.
And here is the bell tower. You can see the bell on the top. And this is your St. Mark's Square. So you see restaurants don't have their umbrellas up yet, but they will. And this is the open area where, like I said, later this afternoon, there'll be tons of people.
Ni នៅក្នុង Mark Square មុននឹងថ្ងៃរះឃើញតែបងប្អូនជីវភាពនៅកន្លែងនេះស្ងប់ស្ងាត់ណាអត់មានដូចខុសគ្នាពីពេលដែលមនុស្សមកអ៊ូអហើយកន្លែងនេះធំមែនតែនទីក្រុងនេះគេទៅតែភ្ញាក់ឡើងទេណាមកហើយជីវភាពនៅស្ងប់ស្ងាត់នៅឡើយទេហើយបើបងប្អូនមកចង់មកលេងនៅកន្លែងនេះមករដូវទឹកត្រជាក់បន្តិចពីព្រោះរដូវក្តៅមនុស្សច្រើនណាហើយនៅទីក្រុងនេះយើងមិនអាចដូចថាគេមិនចូលចិត្តប្រើអ្វីដែលមានកង់ទេដូចជាកង់ជិះដូចជាឡានក៏ប៉ុន្តែគេមានដែលគេហៅថា water shuttle ដូចថាគេចូលចិត្ត canoe គេចូលចិត្តទូកអ្វីដែលមានកង់គេអត់ចូលចិត្តទេ So as you can see, this is a totally different Mark Square when the crowd isn't there. Totally different vibes. beautiful, peaceful, calm. This is what Mark Square looks like before sunrise, before all the people gather here. You can see how big this square is when there's no one here. We are walking to the Grand Canal, Venice's largest, most famous canal, the main waterway winding through the city in a large S shape. Most people take pics here from the Rialto Bridge.
So here we are. I don't know if you can see the sign. We're going to the Rialto Bridge. Should we take the first one or the second one, honey? Second one. I think it gets there the same way, but this is a bigger street here. So as you see, shops are not open yet. We're just following the yellow sign. Oh, and check out the Venetian masks. Aren't these beautiful and ornate? It's really pretty. So a lot of shops here are still closed, as you can see. It's still early. You're going that way. It takes about 10 minutes to get from the St. Mark Square to Rialto Bridge. So it's not very easy to get around in Venice if you have mobility issues. As you can see, the stairs, if you're not paying attention, you can trip and fall very easily. And here we are. This is one side of the bridge. Huh. Look at that. This is the right side of the bridge. Beautiful. This is the Rialto Bridge. So we are at the market in Venice, and this is the morning walk to check out what produce they have. They're just setting up now. There's more here. Good morning. Here is the other side of the market, is the waterfront. And I don't know if you can see from here, but the booth that's marked yellow is considered the water bus. Gary and I are not very much of a seafood people, but we do like to check out the fresh fish. Look what a beautiful building for a fish market on the waterfront. Isn't it amazing? Beautiful. Oh, look at the bird trying to find some fish for himself. How cute. They're setting up and he's right here looking for food. A lot of fresh catch. So pretty. And I've never seen this before. Are these like mollusks? Oh wow, I didn't know they eat these. So this market is a whole square in itself, and it's beautiful. The building is nice and it's right on the waterfront. Check out these birds. They're looking for fish. Oh yeah. My husband just reminded me this is a bilingual channel, so Nikki ផ្សារគេផ្សារនៅ Venice Italy គេទំតែបើកពីព្រោះម៉ោងទំ8 កន្លះគេទំចាប់ផ្ដើមបើក and this is the street we're walking on. Shops full of pastries and bakeries. This one looks like spices and other selections, candies, all goodies. We're heading back to grab our water shuttle in about 40 minutes, so we figure we stroll along the waterfront here. So these gondolas, if you want to take them for a nice float along the canal, it is 95 euros per 30 minutes.
We are so appreciative to have the opportunity to walk along the waterfront this morning before the sun comes up, because once the sun is out, it's so hot. We still have the breeze right now, so it is so enjoyable. We're so appreciative.
Look at the activities going on in the water. It's a beautiful morning. This is a former Steven Spielberg's mega yacht. He owned it up until 4 or 5 years ago, where he sold it to the biggest Canadian steel producer, and looks like the only yacht that's allowed to park here or dock here. Oh, although there's another one behind him actually. So this mega yacht is called the Man of Steel, obviously after the biggest steel producer of Canada. Here is that mega yacht that belongs now to the biggest Canadian steel producer, and I don't know if you can see here, I'm gonna try to bring it in a little bit. That's called the Man of Steel. We're trying to take in our last day walk in Venice, because we are heading back to Croatia today. So what a beauty, isn't it? I have a hard time getting used to is no matter how cool the weather is here, the temperature, it's humid. So I always feel so sticky, where in California the weather's always a dry heat, so it's different. It doesn't seem as hot as it's supposed to be, but here you have to add a couple more degrees, or sometimes 10 for the humidity aspect of it. How beautiful this street is. Big, wide open. Again, this is the other side of the waterfront. And here we are at our water shuttle going back to the ship. The Viking people are waiting here for us.